Team motivation is always the same, like getting the best football game ever. But at the same time, it is what we talked last time. So we want to create a game that feels rewarding, like in the build-up play and in the finishing. And something that is fundamental on how you play the game is how the players move. So that's the foundational of every gameplay aspect, is how the player moves. Precision movements, what brings are the ability to have the proper way of players turning, the proper way of body weights, the proper way of how the players foot plant all over the pitch. So the movement is right, so you gotta fit it with the pad, but it brings that football sense, and it brings that battle for position, because you have the opportunity to have the proper build-up play. So it's not like sprinting is no longer the predominant way of playing FIFA, but now you really gotta think, because in how the players sprint we have personality, how the players move we have personality. So it's the motivation is that one, it's making the game much better. The game speed is the same. It's the dynamics of the game what changes. Remember that the feedback, one of the feedback that we got from FIFA 13 was that the game was too fast. The reality was that people were sprinting all the time, and there was no there was no traffic in midfield. So the ball was passing too fast from box to box all the time. And with the changes that we're doing, not just precision movement, like with all the viral dribble touches, we protect the ball, all those things that allows people that want to play the possession game to be able to do it. And like the byproduct of that is that the game feels slower, but because the pace of the game, how you gotta play the game, so it forces you to think a little bit more, and it kind of discourages you the sprinting all the time. What happened in FIFA 13 with acceleration and deceleration was that first it was linear, so how the players were accelerating and decelerating. And the other thing is that all the players were, it took the same time to accelerate from full stop to full sprint. And that doesn't happen in real life. So what we're doing now is that it's not linear, so it's a curve. And for players like Messi that are faster to accelerate than players let's say Puyol, you will notice a difference in the game. So you gotta think when you're a defender or like a medium striker, okay, what player you're playing. So if you want to commit to sprint, like if you're a defender and you're playing against somebody that is faster than you might want to hold back your position and try to tackle afterwards. So it kind of changes the way you think more football on how to defend and how to attack. Step-based locomotion is a technology behind precision movement. So what is a technology for step-based locomotion? So back in the day, how the players move, we had it with canned animation. So what is a canned animation? It's an animation that plays from point A to point B, and you cannot interrupt at any time. It's visually amazing because you have a mocap session and you capture all that movement, but when you play, it feels unresponsive, because if you change your mind and want to change direction in the middle, you can't, because we cannot interrupt the animation. What we have in 13 and in some of the other FIFAs is what we call blended animations. That what is that? You can change your mind in the middle, but what we do is we blend the animation, so you're moving from point A to B, and then you want to go to point C. What we do is we blend the animations from going to A to B and then to C. So you will see some like the legs that doesn't move like in real life, but it gives you the responsiveness. And step-based locomotion, what allows us is to we have animations that are based on every step. So every step you do on the pitch, we choose a new asset, a new animation. So what it gives you is that you can change direction at any time, at every step. And what it gives you is that the foot planting is right, so the animation is right. It allows us to have the proper momentum when turning, and it still gives the responsiveness of the blended animation. So it changes completely how the game feels when you use this technology. Well, with jogging, the turning when you're jogging are much better because it's based on step. It feels more grounded. It also, you feel the body weight. And for defending, so besides the movements, it kind of allows you better defending in the sense that the striker now, if they're gonna perform like a hard turn, like a 180-degree turn, it's gonna be slower than before, because before it didn't have the momentum. But now, so if the guy is full sprinting, like coming at really high speed, and he wants to turn, you will see how how it takes longer that turn. So it's not unresponsive, it's how it happens in real life. So when you're the striker, you can't perform unrealistic turns. So now it's going to be realistic, so if you're the defender, you might have the opportunity if the guy did something that is not accurate to real life. What we do, so we are talking about the curves, and for example, if you got players like Messi or players like they go from full stop to full sprint faster than slower players, you will have that represented in the game. So you have all that personality in how the players change speed and how the players turn. Yeah, in terms of those passings or those passes between 135 degrees, things like that, that's independent of precision movement. Because precision movement is how you move, not how you pass. But the passing is something that we continue tuning and we continue fixing or adding new animations to try to avoid those unrealistic things. As you saw in shooting today, so we have new animations for shooting in different situations, rush shots and those things like that. So the outcome continues being accurate, but at least the visual representation is surviving. Well, it's booking some days in the mocap studio and we continue mock-upping. It's a lot of stuff, but it's what we do every year, is trying adding more animations so the game feels better. Well, we changed some so they look better and more accurate, but we added tons of animations. Well, one of the outcomes, what it allows us, precision movement as well, or the step-based locomotion technology, that's foundational. For example, when we say that in pure shot the players approach properly in stride, doing the proper steps, that's because we have that technology, we can do it now. And the other thing is, when you change movement, when you change locomotion in the game, you need to tune completely everything. Why? Because the way, so if you don't have the proper momentum in the game, so you gotta defend, you have to position the defenders in a certain way. Like I'm talking about how CPU AI marks. But suddenly you have this change of momentum, so if you were going with the same speed towards the same direction, now what is gonna happen, because you have the momentum in turn, the defender will look completely dumb, because he will continue probably 5 more steps and then you're done. So you need to, once you change locomotion, once you change how the players move, you need to tune, you need to rebalance completely everything. So that's why the game feels so different now, because with the proper movement, and today we have some missed traps or all those things, but we're going to continue tuning is 60% done, so we have some months to go.
Next one. Thanks.
Cool.